Married couples over 50 are splitting up at historic rates, and that's according to federal data. Coined the gray divorce boom, more than 1 in 3 people are calling it quits over 50. Couples in these gray divorces face really unique challenges. Regina McCann Hess is a certified divorce financial analyst, and she joins me now. So this is something, it is very sad, but you need to be practical about it. You need to be smart when it comes to these things. So what are some of the unique challenges that folks over 50 are experiencing when it comes to divorce?
Oh, you know, they also still have children. Some of them may be out of the house, some of them may be still in the house. And you would think that their children are older and it's not as big of a deal, but it still has a huge impact on the kids. So that's one thing. And one of the biggest things that gray divorce impacts is people's ability to retire, because they've been amassing this war chest of retirement money. And now it gets split, and you know, one side or the other may not have enough to retire in what they thought they were going to retire into, lifestyle-wise.
I think that's the hard part. If you're brave enough to take those risks.
Yeah.
What are some of the things that we need to think? I know you say there's 5 things that folks who are thinking about divorce at this age need to think about.
Yeah, so obviously premarital assets, especially in a community property state, you want to know what you brought into the marriage, because that stays outside. In most cases. There are some rules varying by county and state, but for the most part, that's what you want to know.
So if I bought a house before we got married, that house is just still my house, even if the spouse paid into the mortgage of that house?
Well, there's a depends. There's a lot of depends. Just like gray divorce, there's gray area.
Okay, good to know. Finding all marital assets. I know that for some friends, they've had to get like a forensic person to go in there and look for stuff.
Absolutely. And for the most part, you can avoid that unless there's real thoughts of, oh, something's missing here. But you can find the smoking gun by looking at the tax returns. And look at least at 3 years tax returns. And I'm telling you, they tell a story. I actually just was working with somebody within the past couple months. I reviewed their tax return, and I asked for supporting documents like the 1099s, all that stuff that comes in the mail. I found dividends of that was over $400,000 for one holding. And I was just, what is going on here?
Yeah, what is this?
Yeah, what is this? Because guess what? It was not on the spreadsheet of ownership, right? So we uncovered an asset just by looking at the tax return.
Good job. All right, let's talk Social Security, because I know that's something people don't always expect.
Oh, I could get on my soapbox with this. I really could. I love talking about Social Security because there's so many mistakes people make with Social Security, whether or not they're getting a divorce, but especially with divorce, it's so important, especially going towards retirement.
Yeah, I didn't know we had a choice of what happened to it, where it went.
Oh, goodness. Well, you know, you can't direct your Social Security to somebody else, but if you're married, you can get a spousal benefit off of your spouse's Social Security. So if your spouse makes has a $3,000 benefit for Social Security and your benefit is $1,000, right? So when you get to retirement and you're at Social Security age, you, instead of get the $1,000, you can get the $1,500, because they true you up to 50% of your higher earning spouse.
That is good to know.
Yeah.
Let's talk inheritances.
Inheritance. Okay, so one of the most important things there is if you receive an inheritance, keep it in a separate name account. Once you commingle, and that means basically put it into a joint account, that becomes a marital asset. Yeah, it's done.
All right, so keep it. That's good to know. If it's an inheritance, you can prove it. That still stays yours. What about retirement, though? A lot of folks I know, they're splitting from their spouse and having to give half their retirement. Yeah,
that's true. And just because the retirement account is in your name only does not mean that it's only your asset. It's a marital asset if it's earned during the marriage.
Yeah. And all right, sorry to interrupt, because I just want to get to this before we run out of time. You are so passionate about women being financially responsible that you wrote this book, Superwoman Wealth, which helps our health, teaches women to take a more active role in their finances. Tell me about the book.
Well, I did the book because I ran into so many women who waited to have this conversation until they were going through a divorce or becoming a widow. And it's common that one spouse takes care of the finances through the marriage. But, you know, I have to retrain people to get back up on that horse or back up on the bike and ride it, which is fine. But my key message here is have a conversation, be part of the conversation, do, you know, Sunday morning conversations at the breakfast table once a quarter and just talk about your household finances. So it doesn't like come as a big surprise
so you know
to you.
what's going on.
Exactly.
Thank you so much for coming on the show to chat with us about this, to inform us, and thank you for writing this book to inform so many others. I think it's hard, again, to talk about this stuff, but it is almost impossible to live your life without talking about it. So thank you.